Okay, so we were saying that an adverb is a verb, is a word, is a part of a speech that provides greater description to a verb, to an adjective, another adverb, a phrase, a clause, or a sentence. So we use an adverb to describe in a better way something, okay? So here we have the example that I was reading you before. Mona explained, but if we want to give a better description to this, we can say Mona explained nicely. So as you can see with this adverb here, we are giving a greater description to this action, okay? Then we have some adverbs that describe how an action happens. And generally, the adverbs that describe this are the ones that finish in ly. For example, quickly, peacefully, or loudly. Okay, can you give me an example of a sentence using these adverbs? Okay, so you have to describe an action with these adverbs. As the one that we have here. This is an action, right? Explained. And here we have nicely. So I want you to think about a sentence. I want you to give me an example. How can we use quickly, peacefully, or loudly in a sentence to describe an action? Bruno?
My brother was sleeping peacefully.
Yes, my brother was sleeping peacefully. Andrea?
My sister speak quickly.
My sister speaks quickly. Very good. What about loudly? What can we say with loudly? What can we say with loudly? Any ideas? No? I can say, for example, my brother-in-law speaks loudly. Okay? So we can use these verbs to describe an action, how an action happens. Okay? Then we have the frequency adverbs. Okay? Remember that we use the frequency adverb when we want to do what? When do we use the frequency adverbs? Do you remember? When do we use the frequency adverbs?
With
Um,
present simple, schedule, habits.
Yes, but when? We use, yes, we use the frequency adverbs with the present simple to describe routine, habits, or schedules. But when? What for? ¿Cuándo lo utilizamos o para qué?
To indicate a routine, maybe.
To indicate
A routine.
a routine?
Routine,
Yes,
yes.
routine. But remember that we use these frequency adverbs to describe the frequency in which we do these actions. Okay, how many times we do this action, for example, in a day, in a week, or during the year, okay? So here we have some of them. Never, rarely, sometimes, usually, and always. Do you remember any other frequency adverb?
Often.
Often? Any other?
A few. Few.
Few is a quantifier. Any other frequency adverb? No?
Normally,
Normally? Yes, very good. So, for example, here we have, I always drink coffee. I usually drink coffee. I sometimes drink coffee. I really drink coffee, or I never drink coffee. Oh, this coffee is always hot. The coffee is usually hot. The coffee is sometimes hot. The coffee is really hot, or the coffee is never hot. Okay, so we can use the adverbs to describe the frequency of an action. Okay, so remember that the position of the frequency adverbs is this one. It comes after the subject and before the main verb. Okay, after the subject and before the main verb. But when we have the verb to be, it always comes after the verb to be. Cuando tenemos el verbo to be en la oración, el adverbio de frecuencia siempre viene después del verbo to be. Okay? So let's see another kind of adverbs. It says when. These adverbs indicate when or how often something happened. Okay, so for example, now, always, then, sometimes, never, and tomorrow. Okay, as you can see, now, then, and tomorrow, these are for when. And how often? Always, sometimes, and never. The frequency adverbs, right? For example, here we have another kind of adjective, adverbs. He is strong, it says. But if we want to emphasize something or we want to give a greater description to this adjective, we can say he's so strong. ¿Ok? Cuando queremos enfatizar o queremos dar una mayor descripción de un adjetivo, podemos utilizar este tipo de adverbios. So strong. Y estos vienen antes del adjetivo. Okay, so strong, so beautiful, so big, okay, or very big. Then we have some sentences adverbs. Okay, it says a sentence adverb is an adverb that appears usually at the beginning of a sentence and modifies the sentence as a whole. Okay, significa que aparece al principio y modifica toda la oración. This type of adverbs usually ends in ly and is often followed by a comma. For example, here we have, he earned the money honestly. Okay, as you can see in this sentence, we have the adverb at the end of the sentence. But we can use this adverb at the beginning of the sentence, and this is a sentence adverb. For example, honestly, I am not upset. Okay, as you can see, this word, honestly, modifies the whole sentence. This is a sentence adverb. Okay, but this one is just an adverb. Okay, that describe the action. Que describe cómo se realiza la acción, cómo él se gana el dinero honestamente. Okay, pero en este caso, este adverbio modifica toda esta oración. Honestamente, no estoy molesto. Okay, so these are the ones that we have with ly. Okay, we have the, how do we form this? We have the adjective, and we add ly, and this is an adverb. The same here, we have the adjective quick, we add ly, and we form an adverb. Okay, the same with beautiful and careful. Okay, we add ly, and we have an adverb. Okay, so here we have some adverbs. Okay, so positive manners, negative manners, positive and negative. Okay, so we are going to use adverbs in this lesson. Okay, let's see here. Let's go to the grammar, and we are going to complete this. Okay, it says we can use adverbs to add information to a verb. Okay, for example, in this sentence, it says adverbs of manner say how we do something. Okay, nos dicen cómo hacemos algo. Un verbo, cómo lo hacemos, cómo hacemos esta acción, de qué manera. So, for example, the adverb here is quickly, right? So we are describing how he spoke. Okay? These are adverbs of manners because describe how we do something. Then we have adverbs of frequency that say how often we do something. Que nos dice qué tan frecuentemente hacemos algo. Okay, so she often goes mountain biking on the weekend. Okay. Then we can also use adverbs to modify an adjective. Okay, when we want to modify an adjective and we want to give more emphasis to this adjective, we can use an adverb. Kite surfing can be incredibly dangerous. And here we have the adverb, okay? Remember when we use an adverb to modify an adjective, the adverb comes always first, always before the adjective. Siempre va antes del adjetivo, okay? Okay, then we have sentence adverbs, describe a whole sentence and often show the speaker's attitude to what is being said. For example, interestingly and honestly. Honestly, I don't care what he does. Okay, estos adverbios generalmente describen la actitud de la persona que habla. Okay, so we're going to see the position of the adverb. Okay, so it says adverbs of manner usually go at the
And
end, right? Usually go
yeah,
at the end of a clause or sentence. So these are adverbs of manner. Then we have here adverbs of frequency. Frequency usually go before or after the verb they describe.
After.
before.
After the verb or before?
Before.
Before the
Before.
verb. Okay. Before. For example, I can say, I always wake up early. Okay. As you can see, the frequency adverb is before the verb they describe. Okay. Antes del verbo que describe. Okay. Then we have here the adverb of frequency go before or after the verb to be, right? After the verb to be, okay? Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example? With
My brother is always annoying me.
okay, my brother is always bothering me. My brother is always bothering me. As you can see, the frequency adverb in this situation is after the verb to be. So when we have a verb to be in our sentence, remember that the frequency adverb is after, okay? Then we have adverbs go before or after an adjective.
Before.
Before an adjective. Can you give me an example?
My pet is so cute.
My pet is so cute, right? Okay, very good. Number 4, sentence adverbs usually go at the of a sentence, beginning or end?
Beginning.
Beginning. As you can see here in the example, it's at the beginning. And usually we use a comma, right? So these are the position of the adverbs that we are going to use today. Any questions about this?
Teacher,
Yes?
when we use the adverb frequency, the verb is always in ing.
No. Generally, we use the present simple when we use adverb of frequency. Okay, but for example, this adverb of frequency, always, can be used for the present simple and the present continuous. Okay, for example, I'm going to give you two examples. My brother always gets up late, for example. Okay, so generally we use the adverb of frequency in the present simple. Okay, but always can be used in the present continuous to describe an action or an attitude or a behavior that you don't like. For example, my sister is always wearing my clothes. Okay, my sister is always wearing my clothes. Solo este adverbio de frecuencia podemos utilizarlo en el presente simple y en el continuo, pero recuerden que cuando utilizamos always en el presente continuo, describimos una acción o un hábito que no nos gusta de alguien más. ¿Ok? Un hábito o una acción que nos disgusta. ¿Ok? Y eso significa que esta persona siempre está haciendo eso y nos molesta. ¿Ok? Pero generalmente los adverbios de frecuencia en el presente simple. Any other question? Okay, let's practice a little bit on page 142. 142, here we have an exercise. 3.2, complete the sentences with an adverb in the box and in the correct position. Okay, so I'm going to give you some minutes so you can do this and then we are going to check. Bruno?
I wrote, and I rarely watch horror movies. Some are really terrifying.
Yes, okay, we can say this. I rarely watch horror movies, right? Very good. And the second is for Alison, please.
Okay. I don't get scared easily, so I love any kind of extreme sport.
Very good. I don't get scared easily. I don't get scared easily, so I love any kind of extreme sport. Number 3. Andres, what about you?
Um, is it's extremely dangerous to drive over 120 kilómetros
100?
por hora, 100 kilómetros
20.
por hora on the highway.
Okay, so it is extremely, right? It is extremely dangerous. Okay, number 4. Please, Yoshi.
Personally, I think jumping off a bridge with a piece of elastic tied around your leg is really stupid.
Yeah, personally, I think jumping off a bridge with a piece of elastic tied around your leg is really stupid. Okay. Number 5, please, Andrea Salazar.
I sing badly, so I love to take lessons to improve.
Okay, very good. So now I want you to tell me what are we modifying with these adverbs? Okay, in the first sentence, what are we modifying with this adverb? Really? ¿Qué estamos modificando?
The frequency.
Okay. We are saying the frequency, but what are we modifying? We are modifying the verb watch. ¿Ok? Estamos modificando, estamos describiendo en de una mejor manera. Watch. ¿Ok? What about number 2? What are we modifying with the adverb in sentence number 2?
Scared.
Get scared. Okay, we are modifying this action. Get scared, right? What about number 3?
Dangerous.
Danger.
We are modifying, what is this? What is dangerous?
An adjective.
An adjective. That's why the adverb is before the adjective. Okay, it is extremely dangerous. What about number 4? What are we modifying in number 4?
All the sentence.
The whole sentence. Yes, we are modifying the whole sentence. This is a sentence adverb, right? And number 5. What are we modifying number 5?
Sing.
What?
Sing.
Thing.
Sing. We are modifying the verb, right? Okay. So we have different positions according to what are we modifying. De acuerdo a lo que modifiquemos, de acuerdo a lo que describamos, tenemos diferentes posiciones para el adverbio, ¿cierto? Okay. So tell me, Orlando, do you have any questions? Any doubts?
No, I have the same in 2, 3, and 4. I had doubts in 1 and 5, but I ya no tengo más dudas, teacher.
Okay, remember, you have to ask yourself, what I need to modify? Okay, ¿qué necesito modificar? ¿Qué necesito describir? Entonces, cuando usted descubra qué necesita describir, si es un verbo, si es una oración entera o si es un adjetivo, ahí se va a dar cuenta dónde debe posicionar el adverbio. Okay? Good. Let's continue. Let's go back. Let's go back to the page 82. No, 27. And here you have another exercise. Exercise number 3. Write the adverb form of the word in parentheses in the correct place in each sentence. For example, here we have usual, and the adverb for usual is usually. Okay, so we need to write usually before the verb because we are modifying the verb, right? So I don't usually go on stream rides at amusement parks. You have to do exactly the same with person. What can you say here?
Personally.
Personally. So where do we place this adjective?
Before the sentence.
Before the sentence, right? Personally and comma, right? Personally and a comma. It says, personally, I wouldn't go whitewater rafting. It's too dangerous. Number 3, quick.
I learn quickly.
I learned quickly new sports. We are modifying what? ¿Qué estamos modificando aquí? ¿Qué estamos describiendo?
Learn.
Learn.
Learn, the activity, the action, right? The verb. I learned quickly new sports, so I love to do a new hobby like ice climbing. Number 4, incredible.
It's incredibly easy to see animals in the wild in my country.
Very good. So what are we modifying here?
Easy.
Easy, an adjective, right? It's incredibly easy to see animals in the wild in my country. Number 5, but.
Badly.
Badly. So where do we place this?
I play badly soccer.
I play badly soccer. What do you think, guys?
I
I
badly
play
play
soccer
soccer.
badly.
I play soccer badly.
Badly.
I play soccer badly, but I still love it. Tourists come to my hometown to do extreme sports.
Tourists often come to my hometown.
Often, right? Tourists often come to my hometown. Number 7, I read the safety instructions before doing any activity that could be dangerous.
I read carefully.
I
Yeah.
carefully read. Oh no.
What do you think? It's a
I
verb.
read carefully.
Carefully. I read carefully. Porque si fuera un adjetivo, carefully iría antes. Pero como es un verbo, I read carefully the safety instructions. Okay? So, let's see. We're going to practice a little bit this.